Hi all, I thought I'd do a quick video on mind mapping in software testing. Over the last couple of years I've seen an increase in the use of mind mapping as a tool to capture and obviously assist with deriving test conditions, especially when we're in more agilistic, exploratory oriented testing teams as opposed to test case driven prescriptive teams. But even in those, as part of the overall say design of testing scope, they can be of use too. So I've got Chrome open here, and really this is just to show you how easily findable, if that's a word, these mind mapping tools are. So here we've got one called Connected Mind and one called Lucid Chart. I like to use a combination of mind mapping tools, some that are online in case I get onto a client site and I don't have my laptop or I can't share assets from my laptop, then I can still build out some mind maps. So Connected Mind is what I would say is an example of a pretty bad attempt at putting a mind mapping piece of mind mapping software together. So you can see here the idea of a mind map. I'll assume that you get the idea of a mind map. You have this central theme. So here we are, it's the product Connected Mind. Here we can see this one allows you to add some notes to a particular segment or node. Here's a branch going off, creating, opening and saving a concept, an idea spreads from this central theme. That's slightly annoying actually. And again, extra ideas branching off that are prompted by the parent branch. So we've got this idea of nodes, parent branches, child branches. I say this is a bad example of how to put together a piece of software. So let me show you why. I've just entered a new map. So just click the new map icon. Let's just put something in here. So we're going to select shape here. The thing with these pieces of software that you get from app stores, I want them to be blindingly obvious to use. I don't want to struggle with them. I don't want to have to think. I want to just click and go, oh, right, I get how this works. And I don't find this does that for me. So here's my new map. Okay, so how do I get down to the center? Okay, so I'm going to scroll. But if I scroll, I lose the toolbar. So, okay, so I can click the object and move it. Okay, so that's not too confusing. Now, so I've got the central node. I want to put some child nodes up here, connect them in some way. So what's this? Add a branch as a child of the selected item. So this is the thing. This may seem obvious, but I've got to select the item every time, otherwise this software doesn't know where I want it. Okay, so I've just clicked. What is this? Edit node details. So we'll just call it first stringy thing. Let's see how this comes up. So we've got colors here. Okay, I click on it, I get a color picker. Fair enough. Retains a color. Okay. And where is it? Now, in fact, I didn't actually read that dialog box that came up. So, great. Okay, so I click, and here's my first stringy thing. Okay. So I'm a bit stuck here. I'm not sure how to negotiate this. Let me double click maybe. Okay, what's this? So now the parent node, the central node has come up. I don't want this. Let's get rid of that. Okay, and this is what I mean with the software. It's like so it's a single click. Sorry, but now I've got all these edit points. So what am I supposed to do? Just start. Oh God. At which point I'm going to stop using this software. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's get rid of that one. So you know what? Where is the... Yeah, forget it. Not interested. Not interested. So let's try Lucid Charts. Right, and the point of showing you that other one was not only does it crash, but it really is a nightmare to use. Not yet. Take me to the app. Okay, so here we are. I've just literally installed this from Play. Start drawing. Okay, drag and drop any shape onto the canvas. here. Try it. You'll like it. Okay, a bit of neuro-linguistic programming there. Okay, so that's good. So that's good because I don't know what all of these shapes are. So if I hover over these and I'm given a clue, that means I'm going to put sensible mind maps together that my colleagues will then recognise, and I won't look like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we recognise databases, right? Okay, document, fair enough. So these look like Visio to me. What else have I got here? Let's just have a look. Search. I'm not sure I need search. Maybe there's some stuff here to do with sharing this lucid chart diagram. That's pretty cool. Okay, I've got the premium version, so I'm just reminding myself what the free version looks like. What else? Okay, the kind of menu bar I'd expect. I've got some editing going on down here. Alright, so I don't need to guess too much. Okay, so I'm using the mouse to scroll up and down. Alright, I get it. So let's go for, what would we have? Let's say preparation. So it's a drag. I drag it into here. Bingo. To draw a line, click and drag from any edge of the shape. Okay, so preparation. I'm not going to call it preparation. I'll call it, what should we call it? Let's call it application for now. Okay, great. So I can just type and it starts editing. I drag. Okay, nice. Arrow. And then when I let go of the mouse, bingo, I've got the, what should we call this? The node picker menu bar available. So let's have a decision. I'm going to click on that. Great. So you can see how easy this is. So application. Well, I'm just going to come up with random things here. Logged. Whoops. Logged in. Okay, so get rid of this. But that's handy. Okay, so I've got yes. Great. So this is the decision box. I expect a yes. So I get to the end of the yes. What process would be? The user might review account details. Let's say. Bingo. Okay. So now I need a. Okay. So I've got a. I'm used to dragging with the mouse. So that's what I was trying to do, but that doesn't work. So no. Okay. So no. So we're not logged in. Log in. Okay. So you can quickly build up maps here. Now one of the problems I have with this version, the free version, is that the canvas here is a bit limited. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here, and if I just maximize the window, you know what, I'm feeling like I don't have much space here. Wow, okay, I'm getting a lot of tooltips at the moment because it's new. Oh my god. Okay, stop already. Forget it. Okay, so boom, we're out, we're finished with the tool. So I can't zoom in and out. Interesting. Alright, and it's use the mouse, sorry, use the scroll bars to go up and down. I've got chat down here as well. What's this? Demo user. This is when I link in with other users and we're sharing perhaps the account and so on. Share with others. Alright. So here we go. So this is the one that we use at the company where I work. So that's all good. The point of this demo was, see how easy it is just to start putting mind maps together. No matter what happens, I can start to just flow. Pretty cool here. Okay. So this one is Lucid Chart, and it's more like what I'm after. And again, if I'm on a website, if I'm on a customer site and I need to put something together quickly, here we go. We've got this. So if I just lose this, bye bye. The one that I use most of the time is called FreeMind. And FreeMind is, as you'll guess, a free piece of software that allows us to do pretty much what the Lucid Chart does, but it doesn't use the Visio-like shapes. So if I hover over new mind map here, okay, so we'll go and do basically the same thing. We'll see what this looks like. If I hit insert on the keyboard, here we go. So is the user logged in? So this time I don't get a shape, a decision shape where I can just grab the yes or no's off it. So as the user logged in, I hit insert again, and I'm going to have to put these options in. Ooh, okay, so I click on there, yes, no, and what I can do here, I can actually move these around a little bit, like so, and then in the event of it no, I can do what? log in. And if they're already in, we would view user account, right? Or view account details, I think. If you click and hold the screen, it moves it around and so on. And you've got the option on this one to do things like color the node. Let's have a look. So we can format, we can make it bold, for example, etc. I'll let you explore those. They've got this funky little toolbar across here as well, so some of these are a bit unprofessional, should we say. But if you were, say, using this as a mind map that captured a brainstorm of exploratory conditions for an application that perhaps you didn't know, or you wanted to try some funky things, so you could come along here. For example, is the user logged in? No. Log in. Okay, but you'd say, well, how do I log in? Correct details. Oops, details. Let's say you might want to define what that means, but you get the idea. Incorrect details. In fact, no details. Let's invoke some error trapping. Let's see what the error conditions are. Again, we could be having a brainstorm with a team here. No details. We could say error messages. We might wonder what the error messages were on the application or website. And if you've selected the node, you could then come along and say, add an icon like this. And when you've tested one, again, you could put a tick. A colleague and I have used these kind of mind maps before for new media type companies, or digital media type companies, I guess more correctly, where they send us a website, they've got a bunch of test conditions, and we describe the test conditions in this way, and then start looking at the ways excuse me, in which we'll test it. So you can get the idea of building these mind maps out. These are printable, save them down as PDF, etc. If you want to see some examples that the test community have put together, you could race over to, let's see if I get this right, Ministry of Testing, there we go. Not to mini clip. You could play some games, but don't do that in work. And there's a bunch of mind maps here. Sorry, I went to Resources, Mind Maps. Let me just click on Resources, let me just show it you. And Mind Maps. Okay, so here are a collection of some examples of mind maps put together for testing. Again, various people that have put these together. But have a look, get some ideas about what you might want to put mind maps together for. This is how I use them in exploratory conversations with clients, saying, well, what's the main action? Well, the user logs in. Okay, so I guess they could or could not be logged in. So if they're not logged in, what do they need to do? Well, they need to log in. Right, and in what way might they log in? Well, in these ways. Okay, is there any error messages? You know what? I don't know. Okay, let's go find those error messages, and so on. Really, really useful tool. Not just for putting mind maps of, I don't know, business brainstorms or design ideas and so on. You can crack on your test conditions. We have, again, my colleague and I have used these as test reports. So the reason I put the tick in there was almost out of habit, because when this test condition passes, again, very simple example, but you get the idea. When this test condition passes, we put a cross. No, we don't. Put a tick. And if it fails, we put a cross. And that's our report. So when someone says, how is testing doing? Well, there you go. This is what it looks like. And that may or may not work for your client. If it's a new digital media company who are giving you like half an hour to test an application or say a micro website, this is a great idea. But there you go, just some ideas around mind maps. FreeMind is the one that I use, but it's up to you to go off and find and play with the one that you think will work for you.